That is abuse of court process. Most lawyers who says, or public who said, this is the same fact, they are contradictory. Look at, if you lay hand on a petition brought before you, or that is instituted before a judge, you read through, look at the facts, and look at the evidence. Then look at the other one. Because most times, what the issue that is raised here may look similar, but the fact, the evidence provided the other way may not be the same. I mean, so the judge will not look at, because my learned brother has decided on a matter, I should also rely on it. They are court of coordinate jurisdiction. They look at the decision of the higher court to decide on and follow. But before you could make your decision.
You know, this thing that Ayuba asked is something that has created a lot of controversy and arguments, where some Nigerians have the opinion that there should be a bit of rechecking of the constitution going through that, and also some acts, you know, that guide the judicial system. Yes. Considering there is still that bit of confusion that even I am not cleared of. There are some points where they would say that, okay, this is a pre-election matter. That was what he was emphasizing on. Okay. And then there would be another part, and they will tell you, no, it's not. It's something that the court should be able to handle. There's a bit of confusion for a layman, for a typical Nigerian that does not really understand how you know, some of these acts work. So could it be that there needs to be a revisit on, you know, some of the constitution laws and acts? That way Nigerians will be clear, and there won't be any misconception, and there won't be any kind of you know, misjudgment from Nigerian people, because there is no trust now. Yes. The trust is quite limited.
Yes, I understand what you mean now. You see, I have in a different angle answer the question. I am saying a matter can be instituted before you. You are the one who is determining the matter. You look at issues raised. You decide based on the law or what you understand. It may come to the other judge. The judge may look at it in a different way. That is just the precious truth. Because the law itself looks like an elephant. If you want to define an elephant, you talk, the head is large, the tail, the leg. But another person may start from the other way. That is just the truth, even though it is the law. Did you understand what I mean? Matters are brought. No, it depends on how the judge. Because that is why I said, sorry, excuse me. The judgment may be given by you and set aside.
So, but isn't the law supposed to be the guide, and isn't the law objective? Is the law subjective? Is it depending on who is looking at it? You know, or what exactly are you trying to explain? Because if we say that the law is here, yes, you are dealing with the facts and so on. Yes. There are precedences, right? There are, you know, laid down procedures of looking at things.
Very well, sir.
So, should we be seeing a deviation from what the law has already provided as the, you know, what should be the case? The ground norm, like you people say?
Yes, there's no deviation about that. I've told you that. It depends on, see, judges too. Judges are human beings. They are not perfect as God. That is why there is a need for appeal. A matter can be decided, I still hold to that. A matter can be brought before you as a judge, which you have decided. After your decision is made on appeal, it can be set aside. That is why you see, in filing notice of appeal, when you said, the appellant being dissatisfied with the judgment of the court that delivered on so day, you provide the grounds of it, that the later trial judge erred in law. You are listening, sir. The later trial judge erred in law when he heard that. Then in the particulars of error, that despite the fact that so section provide for this, is the judge make decision, which is a miscarriage of justice. There are grounds for appeal. That is why you see that when a matter is brought, a judge can decide based on what he has before the court and within what he understands.
What are some of the challenges that you see in the in our dealing with electoral matters in the 2023 general elections? What are some of the challenges that you identify, you know, as a legal practitioner in terms of dealing with electoral matters in the past few weeks or months that we've been dealing with?
One of the challenges I discovered is this. I'm sorry to tell you this. INEC itself, most times, are not ready to provide evidence that will help a petitioner. Just look at it where from presidential election to governorship. They said, we are deprived from accessing the documents to enable us to prosecute our defense. And most times, these documents have been released lately, very late, at the closure of the mandatory time provided for appeal or for filing a petition. These are one of the grounds. 2, so much interference. I'm very closed. I know what most judges suffer. When cases are on, you see several threats. Threats. The judge may not even tell you that. He may keep it to himself because judges are not seen or heard. The only way judges are heard is through your judgment. No judge comes to a grant interview like we are still seated here. You don't do that as a judge. Interference, as I've told you, from security, from politicians, inducement also. Inducement. I am not saying it's good for a judge to accept anything. I have not given bribe. This is my 18 years at the bar. I've never met a judge for anything. I believe that when I'm prosecuting my matter, if I lose here, I go up. If I lose, until I proceed till the final judgment is decided. I don't come close to judges. Oh, please, you know, we are close, or take this. But I know I've come close to some of them.
With regards to INEC, I'm not sure if you're done outlining some of those challenges that you talk about. You talk about INEC, you talk about interference from the political class.
Interference from the executive, yes.
Okay, any other? Okay, let me just say that.
Sorry, sir. Conducive environment. Conducive environment. You see most petitions where some people barging inside the court, scatter everything. You have not heard of that during this petition, and that is the reason you see that there was relocation to Abuja here and Lagos. Some of the cases, like from Delta and some other states, like Enugu, they decided Maraba. I visited the place. So if the environment is conducive,
shouldn't the premises be secured, you know, before any sitting?
It is not just the premises, the judges, because if you are appointed now to sit in Borno or in Delta State, my place, it's not only within the vicinity. You have to reside there while doing your job. Then you see the movement. People too, we know. Why you have said, well, this is one of the judges.
So safety concerns are key there. All right, now, you mentioned the issue of INEC and so on. There are those who make the argument that the burden of proof in an electoral petition or electoral matter should be on INEC and rather than on the petitioners who are, you know, challenging the outcome of an election. Okay. What do you make of that?
You see, the law.
I mean, do you think that the situation will be different if the burden of proof is on INEC, you know, when it comes to, perhaps denying access to evidence for petitioners?
You see, sir, it is the general law. Whoever asserts, section 131, 132, 133 of the Evidence Act, whoever asserts must prove. If you say the election was not conducted in accordance with the Electoral Act, you will go further to state how. You understand, sir?
But here in this instance that you mentioned, if in your attempt to prove, you have to now get some of the evidences from INEC, which is the electoral umpire, and you are facing some kind of resistance or some kind of issues accessing evidence, from INEC. What then happens?
Yes, when you have done that, it behoves on INEC to prove that actually we conducted the election in accordance with the Electoral Act. If you are denied access, how a court hasn't made an order, it is left for you. There are procedures when one is disobedient to court order. But what I will also advise judges too, when these complaints are brought before their table, I have not got access to the document I require to prove my petition. The court should take it up from there and must also bring it to the notice of, you are here before me for a judgment or for equity, you must deliver those documents. Let judges, most of them, stand up to make sure that the orders made must be carried out. They don't carry on, but when you come to court to seek indulgence and you are not obeying court order, the court shouldn't shut its eyes.
Well, it's obvious that, even from one of the challenges that you mentioned about INEC not giving this until close to the latest hour, shouldn't even from the beginning of these things, the court should actually subpoena all these people to say, we need you to come, we need you to get the necessary things. That way you're holding these people accountable.
I don't want to call names. In one of the election petitions, presidential petition, where the council came in and said, INEC refused us access. There are so many times. Most of the times, you see, when we're talking of petitions, I must be honest with you, most of the problems are INEC. They are biased. I'm sorry to tell you that, because I've also watched. You will see that, okay, why do you think that you brought materials around? In some places, there are no materials. And these things goes off to the destination where election will be conducted. What is the reason for that? And you will not even see an INEC officer there. At the end of the day, you see that result will come out. Look at what happened in Kogisa. When people were alleging that before the election took place, the result has been written. And they displayed the result that was written before the election itself. How do you go about that?
In other countries, we see how a state can actually sue a body. You know, so in cases like this, there's been a lot of chaos in terms of election. Has any state or organization come out to sue the INEC and the judiciary among the cases that was attended to?
They've only sued INEC during the election petition. I've not seen where they were sued differently, or as a body different from maybe misconduct. I think I've not seen that. But I've seen that when election petition in most cases has been prosecuted, INEC are always parties to it because they conducted the election. Where people allege that INEC takes side on the other side, like writing of this result, they deprive us with security agents. You see, most of these problems are not from judges. Because for a judge was not there in the field when the election was being conducted. But what he brings before a judge is what he decides.
Okay, so talking about judges now.
Yes.
You talked about political interference,
yes.
From the political class and so on. How can we protect judges and make sure that they are, independent enough? Because yes, that's another subject, that has been debated over the years about how independent is the judiciary as a matter of fact, even though we know that it is an arm of government on its own that stands. But how independent is our judiciary, and how can we make it much more sophisticated and, if you like, immune from some of these interferences that you talked about?
You see, sir, we have a problem of enforcement of laws. I must be honest with you. In other claims, you see, you don't call a judge who is deciding on a matter. High-profile cases that somebody is calling. I'm close to, so I know some of them who are friends because I've attended for appointment too. I've been in NJC. You see what they go through. You will show in fact, you will pity them and their family. So when we talk about judicial independence, what does it mean? A judiciary that has a free mind to operate without any interference. And also too, if that is said, I think a judge also should master his mind, irrespective of what you are getting through. That I'm seated here representing God, and I must dispense a case without fear or favor. Most times too, we will say a judge has been, if you are pure, I'm not saying a judge has collected anything. From the onset of your life, you know that you hold nothing against anybody. I don't think somebody should come and just, with one small thing, you go the other way. You must follow suit. That this is my calling. Even if I die here, this is where it ends. So, the issue of autonomy of judges or independence of judges is just on a lip, like what I've told you. First of all, if the government want the judges or the judiciary to be independent, let it be funded, properly funded. Like in Abuja, if you see a case that is being handled by a judge, so many. But apart from FCT, where is the other courts that are conducive? Apart from FCT High Court, are you talking of Zuba? You go there, you see outside where traders are even selling all other things. Distractions. The place is not even conducive. Make the judiciary, for you to talk about independent, make the judiciary really independent. One, fully funded, increase the numbers of judges to decide on matters. Two, let it be a law that on no account must a politician or the executive call a judge, oh, the state is interested in this
So you're
matter.
saying there is no law like that currently?
Even if there exists, is it enforceable? There is no law that said that a judiciary must not, it's just hint on no session.
Must not be
It's
contact.
just, yes, it just hint on independent of judiciary. That is without interference. But I am telling you the truth here. Yet the state also interfere.
All right.
That this is a matter the state is interested.
Okay, so I mean,
Yes.
we've looked at what the judiciary needs, but right now let's turn back to the people. I mean,
Yes.
2022, 2023, we know there's a bit of a shaky relationship between the Nigerian citizens and the judicial system. So 2023, 2024 now, there is a bit of what would happen. I mean, we see situations where in China, somebody who is corrupt actually is risking his life, and he knows that anytime, you know, the law would be at his tail. But then in Nigeria, there's a lot of celebration of corruption, and people are, the situation keeps getting worse because there is still no accountability of what someone has done, and money stuck somewhere, and there is this Nigeria's treasury is not even enough to even keep the country afloat. So what should Nigerian citizens expect from the judiciary in this new legal year, and how is the judiciary planning on, you know, making sure that there is that trust between the citizens and the judicial system?
To go into this question, first of all, the people too must have to change their mindset.
How so?
Change your mindset through judiciary. You see, people always say the judiciary, the judiciary. You see, I am involved in criminal matters. I do criminal matters. And who prosecutes? The state. Who is the state? The federal government prosecutes. Who is the prosecutor? Lawyers from the police. If the state is ready to prosecute a case, they should be training and retraining too, because the issue does not only lie on the judiciary. You who is a prosecutor, I'm prosecuting you for armed robbery. I did not call a vital witness, because everybody is singing that this man, they saw him at that stand. The judge was not there. The judge will not give judgment based on your sentiment. That is why I earlier said the law is the law. There must be training and retraining of the prosecutors. First, where they say money shipped somewhere, there must be tangible evidence. Prove your case beyond reasonable doubt. Then the judge is left for it beyond on the judge. When there's a good evidence, how will a judge shut his eyes and manipulate the sixth step? I'm coming, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Another way around too, the judge too, like this year, they must be ready, because they are losing the confidence of the people. I must be honest, I traveled, somebody was telling me that they are ready to kill all the lawyers. I'm telling you that one day they'll mop all the whole lawyers in Nigeria. I said, what wrong have we done? He said, look at the judgment you people are giving. Any judge who should be appointed should make up its mind from beginning to know that I am going to work. The people are losing confidence. Now we are going to redeem our image. How do you redeem your image? Look at the law, irrespective of what you think anybody is interfering or not interfering. Do your case. No man prepares for a journey without counting the cost. You must be ready to dispense justice without fear or favor. Not just saying we are being threatened. You must be ready. Even if it's a panel, let it be you have only dissenting judgment. This is not good. I wash my hand, because you know what others are doing. I will not be a part of it. Let's leave religion, whether Islam or Christianity. No. Religion itself have a little to contribute to a man. A man who is wicked, is only little. A religion will change you. Once you are ready, I'm going to be appointed as a high court judge. I must do my sacred duty. The people are losing confidence too, because they see that, sorry to tell you this, for you to be a judge, you mustn't be a friend to a politician. If I try, I'm a judge, sitting judge, somebody saw me coming out from a politician's house, or a politician coming out from my house. How? Assuming tomorrow, will you not say, he knows all the politicians? For a judge to be ready, let them, most of them, sorry to say, we know they have politicians as friends. Leave politics and the judiciary. The water flows, it will never meet. Once you leave them, do your case. That this is the case I'm called to do.
All right. Well, there's a higher responsibility on the judicial
Very well,
officers,
sir.
like you have highlighted. Thank you so much for joining us on Daybreak this morning and sharing your perspectives with us on this matter. Barrister Kenneth Uwandinjo Osemeha. He is the principal partner of Kenneth Uwandinjo Osemeha and Co., and also a practicing lawyer here in the nation's capital. We look forward to having you again on the program.
Thank you. I appreciate it.